Wabash, the gentleman's rule. You gotta believe in that stuff. The Wabash always fight.
Hello and welcome to the Don Morel Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. And Coach, a very good football game on Saturday right here at Little Giant Stadium to wrap up the home portion of the 2017 season, but a 21-14 loss to Wittenberg. But first of all, you've said it all season long. You told it to me again last night when we did our interview, but tremendous effort by your Wabash College football team. Took a 14-13 lead in the third quarter, a big fake punt that we're going to see as part of our highlight package here in just a minute. You absolutely have to be proud of this football team the way they played Saturday.
Well, yeah, I am, and great effort. They've done it all year. Effort has not been our issue, but still a tough loss. You want to beat Wittenberg. We had a chance to beat them. We had a couple opportunities in the third quarter to actually go up a score, and we just could not get it done. So that part's disappointing. We've moved on, but still tough pill to swallow.
And we'll take a look at those highlights here in just a moment because, as you said, we do move on. There's still 2 football games to play and 2 tough opponents to face. And we'll talk about Allegheny and the problems that they will present your football team on Saturday. But let's go ahead and look at the highlights again. A 21-14 loss to Wittenberg, and we're going to get it started with a sack by Artie Akiwa coming off the edge there for one of your sacks in the ball game, and we're going to see a couple of interceptions as well, one by Isaiah Campbell and one by Brock Heffron. The defense really played well against a very talented team. Talk about your team's defensive effort Saturday.
Well, just the names you mentioned. Artie's a sophomore, Isaiah's a freshman, Brock Heffron's a sophomore. We're getting tremendous play out of a bunch of our defensive guys. We lead the conference in defense. They played well, did everything we asked for them. Wittenberg hit a touchdown pass when a guy was triple covered. You scratch your head and you want to go home and kick your dog, but the fact of life is they beat us.
As we continue to look at the highlights here, we're going to see, I believe, another sack. This was Bishop Rhodes kind of staying with the play. You had a couple of opportunities to get the sack. Bishop stayed with it and brought down a really good quarterback in Jake Kennedy who really presented some difficulties, and that's going to kind of prepare your team for what you'll face this week with Logan Lee.
It will. Bishop Rhodes, another talented sophomore, too.
We saw the touchdown pass that tied the game at 7-7 just a minute ago. It was Weston Murphy hitting Rashawn Jones with his first career touchdown reception, a 19-yard catch. That tied the game at 7-7. And then you got a touchdown from Ike James on a 3-yard touchdown run that we'll see here in a moment as we look at the Brock Heffron interception. Again, one of the 2 picks on the day for Wabash. But the big play on that 10-play drive that was capped by the 3-yard Ike James touchdown run was this play right here. The fake punt, Matt Panola ended up breaking it for a big 48-yard run. He was one little ankle grab away from taking it all the way to the end zone, but that allowed you to take the 14-13 lead in the ballgame. You really did a lot of different looks and really presented some issues for Wittenberg on Saturday.
We did, and again, we needed to hit 2 more plays to, take the lead. Had a great chance to go up by 8. That keeps me awake at night still. But in the end, they beat us. We converted off the fake. We did score. That was big for us, but still needed to hit a few more plays to win a game.
One of the plays that we'll see at the end, it was an almost, and it would have been a fantastic play. It was Isaac Avant pulling up, trying to hit Kirby Cox. It was just off his fingertips, and if that pass falls into Kirby's hands, he's easily going to take it the distance, and that could have been a big game changer for your football team.
We've had a bunch of those this year.
Evan Hansen led Wabash defensively with 8 tackles, 3rd consecutive game that Evan has led the defense. Jeff Houston had 7, Satchel Burton with 7. So again, an outstanding defensive effort for your football team.
Yep, doing a great job. Jeff Ramsey and his crew's doing a great job over there.
Well, now you regroup, you get ready to go on the road for your last 2 football games. And a lot of fans are already starting to think about the game 27 miles down the road against Greencastle. But You've got a much improved Allegheny football team on the schedule this week, and it really starts on offense for them with an outstanding quarterback in Logan Lee and one of the best wide receivers in the North Coast Athletic Conference in Alex Victor. What kind of problems do they present for you?
Well, Victor, I think, is the fastest kid in the conference. He's not big, but he's just fast. I think there are balls he catches that look like they're going to be overthrown. He then runs underneath them and somehow gathers them up. So we're going to have to keep a special eye on that guy. And then our quarterback has just improved week in and week out.
He has thrown, Logan Lee this season has thrown 26 touchdown passes. That ties the Allegheny set the Allegheny single season record, excuse me. But Alex Victor, with his 12 touchdown receptions, ties the school record for single season touchdowns. It's a record we'd like to see him be tied with for one more week. He can break it week 10. Let's just not break it this week.
Right.
Is this a similar quarterback and wide receiver duo in terms of what we saw with Gary Muntean and Nick Strasbaugh at Worcester earlier this year?
Very similar. Two outstanding players, and the quarterback can get the ball out of his hands quickly, and Alex Victor always seems to be on the receiving end of the touchdown plays.
Defensively, Coach B.J. Hammer, of course, very familiar with him. You coached against him in California, and then you coached alongside him and against him in practice, but
right.
alongside him here at Wabash. You know what he likes to do, and one of the biggest things is go get after the quarterback.
Sure.
He's got a young man by the name of Colton Buzzard who has done that exceptionally well. He's 8th in the nation and leads the NCAC in sacks with 10 this season. He has 13 tackles for loss. What kind of problems does Colton and the rest of that Allegheny defense present this weekend?
Well, if you get behind the chains, just knowing BJ, he's going to bring the house and really try and put you in a bad situation. So we need to make sure it's not 3rd and 7 or even 3rd and 5. It's got to be 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 2 convertible third downs for us. And then we've got to stay away from the turnover bug.
This is an Allegheny football team that hit the reset button a year ago, brought B.J. Hammer in after 3 seasons where they combined for 1 victory. B.J. last year with 1 win, a 1-9 record. And this year he has the Gators at 3-5 overall. They're 2-5 in the North Coast Athletic Conference, but those 2 wins have come at home, one of them against a very good Hiram football team.
Yep.
This is a team that's playing with some confidence that they haven't had over the last 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely, and I think it would be a big step for them to beat Wabash, but we're doing everything here to make sure that does not happen.
What are the most important keys going into the game to try and pick up a victory over the Gators?
Defensively, we can't give up any big plays, and on offense, we can't turn the ball over.
And then, of course, that leads into getting everything ready. One of the things I was going to mention, long road trip. I mean, this team hasn't had a lot of road trips, and even the road trips they've had have at least been to Central Ohio this year. You did go to go to Oberlin 2 weeks ago. But this is a long road trip. This is 8 hours on a bus going and 8 hours on a bus coming back. Your team's handled the road very successfully this year. What do you do to help make sure a team, particularly a young team, handles those type of situations?
Well, with all the sophomores playing, most of them traveled last year, and we played 6 away games, so they know what that's like. It's the freshman kids you kind of worry about. They got a good taste of it busing up to Cleveland a few weeks ago, so this is just a couple hours longer, and I think also they're excited to just get some rest on a bus.
That's what I'm looking forward to. It'll be a lot of Monon Bell game note work for me on the way home after I get some stories typed up on Saturday.
Sure.
Again, Saturday's game will be available on the radio, 91.3 FM, WNDY Crawfordsville. Terry Byram will be on the call with myself as we bring you that ball game. And of course, Allegheny will provide video coverage, and we'll have live statistics. All of those links will be available on the Wabash College website. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. And then, of course, a reminder again, not as if you need it, but the Monon Bell game is the week after. Tickets are available at www.ticketor.com/Wabash. Make sure you get your tickets. That game will be broadcast live, and we just learned this week it's going to be broadcast live on Fox Sports Midwest and Fox Sports Indiana, but Fox Sports has optioned out to also air it live on Fox Sports College Sport, and that is 608 on DirecTV. Don't have the Dish TV handy because I'm a DirecTV customer, so I know exactly where it is there. But we'll have all that information on the website for you over the weekend on how you can watch the game. Of course, go to the alumni site, and there are plenty of viewing parties around the country. If you can't make it to Blackstock Stadium next weekend, love to have you at one of the alumni events around the country, or just watching the game in your home on a fine presentation that will be put together by Fox Sports. Coach, best of luck this weekend, and we'll be back next week to talk a little Monon Bell.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Don Morel Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the Little Giant program. Before we go away, one other thing we want to mention, our thoughts go out to all the folks at Allegheny. I know it'll be a somber weekend when we go there this weekend. One of their coaches, Bridget Sheehan, lost her battle with cancer this week. So our thoughts with all the folks from Allegheny on their loss. I know talking to Coach Keller, who coached was part of the soccer program at Allegheny before he came to Wabash. A huge loss to that Allegheny community for Bridget Sheehan's support throughout the years. So we think of our friends at Allegheny as they're going through this loss of Coach Sheehan. This is the Don Morel Show. We'll talk to you next week.
Wabash, the gentleman's rule. You gotta believe in that stuff. Wabash always fight.